conversation, amazing song coming from Weyala. So welcome back to the best morning show on television. This is the AM Club. We are live on MX24 and it's Tuesday, and so today we talk about everything that will encourage us. So today is a World or International Day for the Girl Child. And here's what you understand. I mean, by now, it's no news that we want to encourage young women. There's a lot of focus on the girl child. But the UN again in 2012 decided that why not? Let's pick a day again and reiterate this conversation, amplify the voices of young, that young girl. So today we focus on many people that have put in so much effort. What's it like having a young girl at home? What is it like starting some sort of organization trying to amplify the voices of that young girl or to even empower them? Why? Because we want to create, we're intentional about the women we want to put out there in the future. Now, this morning, to have that conversation, but before that, I know that you want to be part of this conversation. So please, by all means, send in all of your comments, your questions, your reactions to 055-033-1551, 055-033-1551. You can also join us on social media by tweeting at us at MX24GH with the hashtag the AM Club. Now, joining us for this conversation is Kweyaki Afi Blebo. She is data scientist, co-founder of Because She Can. And then we've got the beautiful Golda as well, Golda Na Adako Adu, social activist, also executive director and founder of She Aid. We also have Josephine Nadema, okay, volunteer Ghana Girls Guide Association. And I'm also joined by this beautiful young girl as well, called Alicia Ejay Sapon, and obviously she's a girl child. So welcome to the show, ladies. It's like Beijing conference happening all over again in MX. For good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. All right, let me go to Alicia first. Alicia, how old are you?
I'm 14.
You're 14. Where'd you go to school?
I'm St. Bernadette.
Okay. Did you know that today is International Day for the Girl Child?
Yes.
Okay, and how do you feel about it?
Great.
Great. I mean, what do you hope to be in future? What are your aspirations?
I would like to be a pediatrician.
Okay. Tell me about it. Why?
I got the inspiration from my love for babies. I think babies are great gifts from God.
Okay. Golda.
Very much.
But you see, yeah, so my spine is shaking. 14 years, she says baby. I can't connect the dots. But for a child like this, what's happening to her?
She's in the right space.
Right.
Not every girl child will find themselves there.
Right.
So it's refreshing to see that.
Yes, yes. She Aid. What is it about?
She Aid tries to tilt the balance into what should be in terms of providing resources or finances that allow female leadership to be a bit more potent and feasible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty straightforward. A straightforward mission. Okay.
Yeah.
Hi. So and then Because She Can.
Yes.
Why for a data scientist is that not enough? Why would you want to carry such a huge project?
Okay, so Because She Can, we are a non-profit that caters for women in the tech space. And being a data scientist, I realized that every time I'm at a conference, I'm at an event, I'm speaking anywhere, I am the only woman in the room. All the time. In my university program, we had less than 20 girls taking IT. And when I completed school, I said that why not start something where I can see more women in the room like myself too. And so that is what birthed Because She Can. I met my co-founder, spoke to her, and then we said, you know what, let's do this. So we mentor girls in software engineering, data science, product management, various tech fields. And we also engage in resource acquisition and financial assistance. So we raise funds to assist girls to get laptops. We are also in the business of raising awareness. We go to schools, we go to programs to speak to the girls, let them know that they look like us. We have been there, what they are doing, we've done that, and then we are successful, and so they can be like us. So that is what because she can is. Because I can, then you can too.
Interesting. Kwaki, you have my attention. So is it that these young girls that you speak to, they already have the interest in technology, or you are, you know, trying to put that interest there? What has been the findings for you?
Okay, so with most of the girls, we are trying to put the interest there. But we have some girls who already know that, you know what, I think I love computers, and so let me see what I can do in the tech space.
Okay.
Most of our girls actually reach out to us too and tell us, you know what, I'm senior high school, I'm about to complete, I don't know what I want to do in the university. I think I'm interested in tech, but you know, the thing is, when someone doesn't talk to you about the endless possibilities, you do not know what you can actually achieve. You are especially when you're a good student in the senior high school level, you get your teachers telling you to pursue medicine, engineering, which is not bad. It's perfect. But I think that attention is not given to tech, mainly because people do not know the possibilities. People hear that, okay, if you are going to tech, you are going to end up becoming an ICT teacher, which is not a bad thing in itself. But people do not know the possibilities. They don't know the career paths that are in tech. So that is
about opening their eyes.
Yes, exactly. We let them know that this is what you can be. You can be a data scientist. You can be a software engineer. We showcase women who are also successful in such fields. We show them to these girls that these women who have done it. And so you can also do it. So we are nurturing interests, and then we are also dealing with women who want to make their debut in tech. They want to make their debut, but sometimes they don't even know where to go to, what course to take, what resources they should be going in. Because tech is a relatively, it's not new, but because it keeps changing, there is so much resources out there, and if you are not careful, you may be drowned in so many resources, and you don't know what to actually do. So we are there to also guide these women.
I understand the navigation. Thank you, Kwaki. Josephine, how long have you been in the Girls Guide?
Okay, I've been in Girls Guide for like 3 years now.
Okay.
Yeah, since 2019.
Okay.
When I moved to Ghana here, I'm a student at University of Ghana. Yeah, I've always wanted to be in guiding when I was young, but I never had the privilege. So when I moved to Ghana and I saw some of the things Ghana Girls Guide are doing, and especially in relation to women and girls, because where I'm from, there is a lot of like abuse and gender inequalities from where I'm from, teenage pregnancy. It looks like an everyday issue. So when I saw what girl guides are doing in Ghana, I felt like this is a place to be. And one thing that motivated me to be part of them, they were like, you are not restricted by age. Like, you can join even 60 years old and above. They are all part of Girl Guide from as low as 4. I was like, wow, I never knew this. So imagine if how many young women too have the same passion could like come together and be part of Girl Guide. And I've learned a lot from being with them.
To the things you have learned. Which country are you from originally?
Sierra Leone.
Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand why she mentioned the abuses and all of that. So in Sierra Leone, at the time that you were there, was there anything like guide? Was the guide there that you just didn't want to be part of? Was when you came to Ghana that you thought, why not? You could be part of it.
Okay, so there is also Girl Guide there, like the same like in Ghana, but it's not quite popular, and people just look at the scouting aspect of it, because we are under one umbrella, like World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. Okay. So most people are only familiar with the scouting, the military aspect of it. They don't know that apart from being a Girl Scout, you can also be a Girl Guide, which is more like a women's advocate, somebody who is passionate about women and girls issue. So you don't necessarily need to be a scout to be a Girl Guide. So when I saw that there are opportunities like that, I said, then why not? So a lot of people who even started in primary, so they don't even have an history of their guiding, they have dropped off those passions. But there is a lot of opportunities in guiding, lots of skills to learn, personal development. I've really grown a lot through guiding being in Ghana here.
Happy to know.
Yeah.
So would have more conversation on that. But Golda,
Yeah.
you know, the conversation about women, it's never ending. This is why we've actually decentralized. We're narrowing it down to the girl child.
Yeah.
And I like to think that it's because we want to be intentional about the women we're, you know, growing them to be.
Yes.
There's been a lot of girl child education and all of that. In the last 10 years since UN started this girl child, you know, paying attention to the girl child, how do you think we've made progress? What's your general assessment of it?
They said the more things change, the more they stay the same. It's kind of like the law of evolution says people try and survive and systems try and survive.
Right.
I think we've made progress, but society has kept up with the progress we've made. So much as we have more enlightened girls, and we have girls who are exposed to their rights and the protective systems they can tap into, we've also gotten a system that has become even more, you know, challenging and complicated. So you would even find that teenage pregnancy is still very high. You would think that at this point it would not be this high. We're talking about between 2016 2020 over 100,000 teenage pregnancies every year just in Ghana, and about 14,000 of them each year are girls between 10 and 14, right? And then there are the others. So you would think something like this will not be happening. You would also find that there are a lot of girls who go through poverty period, no matter the kind of homes you think they come from, which means that a lot more rely on people they should not be relying on. There are a lot of people who live in kiosks in Accra with parents or siblings because they are trying to make a living. So it feels like we've improved in a way, but there are still more issues.
System is catching up with all of the measures that we've put to, and in that case, whatever measures we put in place next 10 years, the system will still catch up with it. Is this going to be, you know, is this something we can achieve?
If the laws are adjusted and the structures are adjusted, we're very good in creating laws that we do not implement.
Okay.
And we're also very good at penalizing institutions that try and force the laws to work.
Okay.
So if we can fix those two areas, we can do better in really, truly achieving the change we want.
Okay. I'll come back to you so you tell me what She AIDS has been trying hard to want to achieve. What's the bigger picture for you and how have you been putting measures in place? But Alicia, so do you have siblings?
No.
Are you the only child? Yes. Okay. In class, how many of you are in class?
30.
You're about 30.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the boy? What number of boys do you have in class, and what number of girls do you have in class? Do you have a rough idea?
15.
15.
Yes.
Okay. What is it like, you know, in classroom with you and your colleagues, the boys in class? What's in terms of your play, in terms of academics, everything? What can you say generally about your colleagues?
They are good. That's in terms of academics.
Okay.
But play, we normally don't play with boys.
Okay.
But some of us, like me, I'm interested in boys.
Okay.
As in boys game.
Let me in. What kind of boys games are you interested in?
Basketball, football, those kind of stuff.
Okay. How did you get that interest?
I learned it from my mom.
Okay. She loves to play. She's 40.
Yes.
Okay. So she was going with you.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Koyaki, what do we see here? The role of parents. What have you been finding? Though you're more into tech, what have you been finding as the role of parents?
Yes, I can speak to tech, but most of the time I've also realized that with parents, they pay a lot more attention, or I would say they pay a lot more attention to the girl child. Why am I saying this? You'd go into a household and the girl child has much more responsibilities than the boy child. So of course, he will go to school less tired. If I'm expected to come back home, wash the dishes, help mommy to cook, do all of that. Of course, those activities in themselves are not anything bad. But if my brother comes back from school, puts his bag down, takes his books, goes to study, he doesn't help mom in the kitchen, doesn't do anything in particular, of course, we are going to see some sort of, unless, of course, I'm very, very smart. If that is not the case, you are going to realize that there's going to be a problem with our academic performance. That although we are from the same household, I've noticed that a lot. Another thing I've noticed when it comes to the tech space or STEM is that sometimes girls actually want to go into engineering. They want to go into tech, but their own parents are telling them that, you know what, is difficult. Like, that's what they are telling them. And so the role of the parent here is so important, because children, their first primary contact is their parents. And so the very moments where they don't get that motivation from there, it's already flawed. We already have a problem.
I'll stay with you. The parent is telling the child that it's difficult. Is it not true?
Well,
do you think that they're genuinely misleading the child? You know, a girl wants to be an engineer. An engineer does not end on just the tablet and on the paper. It ends also on the field, doing, you know, getting involved with the project.
Yes.
And people have argued that the biological formation of a woman, you know, I'm sure because the woman puts to bed, she's appreciating the 9-month period, the menstrual period, a lot of that. So when they say it's difficult, what do they really mean by it's difficult, and what do they not mean by it's difficult?
So before I even start, the first software engineer in the world was a woman.
Our NASA woman?
Yes, first ever software engineer in the world. That is number one. And yes, tech, STEM, they are challenging. But here is what I think. I don't think that our biological makeup does not assist us to understand what STEM or tech is about. There are so many women who are making so much strides in the space that I think we've been able to refute that in the first place.
Okay.
When it comes to parents, I think they are coming from a place of care.
Okay.
They care about you. They don't want to see you unhappy. You are doing something and then you are not getting good at it. But last time I had a talk with the girls at Osu Presby, and what I told them was, because they all told me that mathematics was difficult. And so I called one boy from another class and asked the boy, is mathematics difficult? And then he said yes. And then I told them, have they ever asked the boy this question before? And then they said no. And I said, exactly. When a baby is born, they crawl first. They fall down. They walk. They try to kneel, and then they'll fall. All over again. That is how every field is. You don't get good at doing something just once. I am a data scientist. I keep learning every day. I encounter a problem at work and I realize that I do not know anything about this. The bottom line is parents need to instill in their children the fact that everything you do is challenging.
Okay.
And so you need to make sure that whatever you are doing is something that you really have interest in. My only problem is that do not stifle women and girls and don't let them not get an interest in
certain type of...
Exactly, just because you think that it's going to be difficult. Every field, in my opinion,
It's difficult.
is difficult.
Yeah. True. Josephine, apart from being in the Girls Guide Association, what are you studying in Ghana?
Okay, I'm a psychology student. So I'm a
Okay.
final year psychology student.
Okay, so you're hoping to be a psychologist.
Yeah.
And you're hoping to, where would you like to practice, in Ghana or in Sierra Leone?
Oh, anywhere that opportunities lie for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the idea of joining the Girls Guide, what's the bigger picture for you? Like, what do you think you can do to effect a certain level of change in Sierra Leone?
Okay, so let me say in the aspect, for instance, on mental health. Okay, so you see there is a lot of stigma that girls face when it comes to mental health. People don't even have, like, especially young girls, they don't even have that freedom or that open space to express how they feel about things. Imagine if a girl feels like she's not treated well and she tries to voice it out. It like she said, even the parent has a role to play. A parent will be like, you are. Don't you know that you are a woman, or don't you know that you are a girl? Why should you be bothered about this?
Is this common in Sierra Leone?
Yeah, it's not only in Ghana. So like in terms of roles in the house, like that, girls, to like what she said about play is very important. It's also help building your mental health, your self-esteem and all those things. But in the home, when girls who don't have these privileges want to have that experience, they are like, you are a girl, like these are boys things. Don't you know you have chores to do? You know you have to come and clean, you have to come and wash, and you are there playing. Don't you know your priority? Do you get it? So it makes some of these girls, like she said, she wants to be part of the boys, she like the guys things. They just turn back and they keep quiet. Right. And because they are not able to express themselves, when they are even abused in the home, they feel like they can't talk about these issues. And it's really becoming something that people don't see. And the funny thing, you get parents who are even on higher grounds, they are in high places, they are well recognized, some of them are even against some of these things, but their children are even the ones suffering abuse more than some of the children even on the streets. You will be surprised that there are kids who are in well-responsible homes, but yet still they have been abused even in their homes. It's happening, yeah.
Interesting.
So it's very important as parents for you to be involved in your child's learning and try to, like she said, her mother has to be a role model for her.
Yeah.
Like get involved in the way the child learns, yeah.
Okay. Hold on. What's your reaction to what they both have said, especially about the role of parents? Your main question actually is how you fit in the bigger picture. See, Golda, is one thing wanting to help, another thing getting the funds to even want to help. I just cannot even imagine what you're going through, especially because the name She Aid. When I hear it, I know that I can get some aid from you. But how easy or difficult is it for you to even start the conversation, for them to understand, raise some funds, help that young girl? But please react to what they've said about the role of parents first.
Parents are central, but you know, I think over the past generation or two, parents have also not had parenting themselves.
Nice.
I have two children, right? They're boys.
Okay.
But in my own set of siblings, we're three girls and the boy is the last, right? So I still have these experiences growing up as all girls. And then I'm translating this into raising two boys, right? And I'm thinking, looking back, how did my parents decide to intentionally do certain kinds of things as parents that their siblings, my cousins, would not have gotten because their parents were different? There are very intentional choices that we do as parents that are very difficult to commit to. And we're in a system where you really don't see too many people committing to it because it's very difficult. So parenting is core. It's critical to what we want to achieve. But we also have to bear in mind that it's a holistic effort. We can't look at just that child. We have to ask ourselves, are there really parents, or the parents need support and help to parents so that we can have the children we want?
Okay.
It's a very big conversation, right?
Sure.
Yes. So it's very important. I like the insights that they're sharing because some of them are really hitting me over again. Sometimes it's been a while, but when someone mentions it, you realize, okay, you know, it's really a thing.
Okay.
But about She Aid, what we usually try and do is to let people know that a friend of mine called Anatu, she always says the amount of money that we need as women to impact the space that affects females, women and children. We need so much money, not the kind that we get from grants. We really need money. And I agree with her.
Money.
We need the intentional money, right? I agree with her because there's so much we can do. And in She Aid, we keep trying to let people know you need to structure yourself in a certain way to attract money.
Okay.
You need to build certain disciplines and structures to attract money, right? Because money exists. No matter if there's war or there's a recession, there's money, but you need to know how it can find you or you can attract it.
Okay.
So part of our conversation at She Aid is always about how do you put yourself in that space to attract the money, no matter how small or big, right?
Okay.
And it opens us up to a lot of collaborations. It helps us to be able to realize that a lot of our women can get the resources they need, but they need a lot of hand-holding. They need to commit to a lot of time to work on themselves. And these have to be done with collaboration. So Ghana Girl Guides is very critical. You know, she can.
Because she can, yes.
Because she can is very critical, right? Children themselves and the parents are very critical, because when you collaborate, then you are able to make the more holistic inroads. Otherwise, you can't be able to do that kind of thing. And let me just say briefly that Ghana Girl Guides is really pushing the agenda for improving the situation for girls.
Sure.
You know, and the campaign for getting the finance ministry and the government of Ghana to waive the taxes on menstrual health products is a big thing. Because a lot of our situation is based on how much integrity do we feel as girls and women to even pursue the confidence we need to change the system. You can't have integrity when you need to sleep with someone to have a menstrual pad.
Sure.
You can't have integrity when you have to sleep with someone to get a job. So integrity is at the core of what we have to build as well. And it comes with trust. And until people trust the people supporting them, we won't have people tapping into the resources available.
I'll stay with you so that I go to Afi. So people have asked the question, we're so intentional about the girl child. We're talking so much about the girl child. What are we doing about the boy child? Are we raising women so much that by the time Alicia is 30, the boy she has to interact with, the boy she has to do the work with, this tech, okay? The tech engineer, the tech lawyer, the people that she has to work with, are they at par? Are we now focusing on the women so much that the boys are being left behind? I'll let you take this one. I say this because sometimes I struggle. I ask myself, how did my parents raise me? Because I'm talking to a gentleman and I'm like, wow, I don't understand what you're saying.
Exactly.
I feel like I'm way away from you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what are we doing?
It's an uncomfortable topic. And I say so because when I had my boys and I realized that actually women cannot run away from some of the things we want to run away from. We give birth and we raise, right? And we groom, even as girlfriends, wives, sisters, mothers. We do that. And we are at an age where a lot of us feel we don't have to do this. But we are also realizing that in doing that, we are leaving the men behind and the boys behind. And we are paying some of the consequences. And so for me, it's a fine line. I always tell people, I'm not in the... I don't have the mandate or the authority to force someone and say, try and groom all the men in your space, because it's your choice. But if you can't, do it. Because if we don't, we will have a lot of work left behind for our girls and our women. Because it's all around us. Our boys, our husbands, boyfriends, our fathers. Everybody needs some kind of grooming from the women around them.
Okay. Josephine, I think that somebody is inspired by your story. Says that, hello, MFA, please, I want to know more about Girls Guide. I'd love to join since they don't have age limits. She says she's a member of Girls Brigade Council, actually. And so, would you like to tell us about Girls Guide?
It's an interesting society to join. For me, I joined Girl Guiding because of my mom.
Okay.
I was 4 when I joined, but I did not know I was joining. We have camps. There are certain programs for girls, and to me, it has helped me a lot.
Okay.
Because I am a shy type.
Oh wow, is this you shy?
So through Girl Guiding, I've boosted my confidence.
Okay. Okay.
But I'm still shy. But I'm trying to.
It's getting
You're doing well.
Okay, you're doing well. Just thinking, how can anybody, because luckily there's no age limit, how can they be part of Girls Guide? I mean, I'm just fascinated by the whole idea of Sierra Leone, you know, coming to Ghana to be part of an association, and she's seen the impact, okay? So somebody is asking me, why do you think they should be part of Girls Guide, and if they can?
Okay, so the reasons why you have to be part of Girl Guide, there are a lot. In fact, so now I can say I've not even experienced all of what guiding is about. let's say, for instance, the issue of menstrual health, for instance, the menstrual health hygiene projects. We have projects on Red Pride. Like whenever there are menstrual hygiene day, we do programs on that. We have skills training for women. We even have like safe spaces for women at our training center. We have a whole like a guest center. Let me say, there was an issue recently that a little girl, I think she was around 3, she was abused. Yeah, and the parents could not do anything about it, and little was done. So Girl Guide had to bring that child in, and she was at the center for some time. I don't know what has been done after that, but like we have all those things. So it's not only about the military side. There is this sisterhood that we have in guiding. There's this network, everything about helping you become your best self, like empowering the woman, that even if you are not like in the formal education, let me say you are in business or you are in the informal setting, you can still
benefit something.
Yes, like that will not limit you to like be confident about who you are as a woman or contributing to the society. So guiding is for every woman who wants to achieve her highest potential. So if you are that person, guiding is for you, and it's free. You don't have to pay
anything.
You don't have to pay anything. So we have people for you in different categories. When you come, there are always people ready to help you in whatsoever you want to become.
That's so cool. Where is the office located?
Okay, our training center is at Achimota, and we have our other branch at close to law school at Mokola. Okay. So those are our 2 offices, but mostly our activities are done at Achimota Training Center.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Koyaki, tech is expensive, is it not?
Yes, you can say that.
Okay. How are you raising funds to champion this mission that you have?
Okay, so most of the time we are either writing proposals to companies or we are raising funds primarily through social media. We, being in the tech space, have realized that we can leverage on social media. Makes sense. So that is the core of our work. Because Shikan is a remote-first organization, we've held almost all our programs virtually since our launch. Okay. That was in January 2021. And so we leverage social media so much. Last year, in less than 2 months, we were able to raise almost $2,500 to be able to procure laptops for some girls. Okay. And this was because of the power of social media. And we are very intentional about raising funds. So you would find us having hashtag campaigns on Twitter. We are on Instagram. We are collaborating with influencers. That is what we do, because sometimes, yes, companies would want to help you, but maybe they've not allocated funds for that. And so what do? Are you going to just sit down? No, of course not. We started actually with our own funds, my co-founder and I. And so I would say one thing is the non-profit space, you need some form of passion for what you are doing to actually do it very well. That is it. So our primary means of raising funds is through social media. We have GoFundMe. We have a GoFundMe link, okay, so that people can donate to. You can donate it to us through on our website, our mobile money numbers. We make sure that we amplify that all the time. One thing too that I would mention is that, there is this buzz around the fact that non-profits they have money, they waste money, there is corruption, there is stealing, you don't see what people are using the money for. I think one thing that has helped us as an organization is public accountability. Last year when we were raising our funds, we made it a point to actually update our followers with every donation amount. And so when you go on our website, you will see that this amount, as soon as you make a donation, you see the increment that we've raised this amount. So when we come out to tell you that, okay, so because we raised X amount, we used A, B, and C to acquire these number of laptops, we as an organization have kept this amount to run our internal affairs. It builds trust. So I think
it comes back to what Golda said. Trust seems to be showing. Golda, I'll take your final words. I mean, we can have this conversation forever, and I've enjoyed it anyway. But in your final submission, the statistical service revealed that 80,000 women are living with men.
Yes.
Is it cohabitation? Child marriages. Are they visiting the men and they'll go back home? I don't know.
Yes.
But how can we educate? Because we need to have them to be able to effect this change that we want.
Yes.
But if they're living with the men, what do we do? Are we supposed to train the men to train them? What's in your final submission?
We need to put out so much content that we can find these women wherever they are. I tend to intentionally try and work with a lot of females in these situations. Where do you live? I live in a kiosk. I let them understand that doesn't lessen your value as a human being.
True.
And that you can be better because people have come from worse. And I do try and work with quite a lot of them, help them to earn income, improve as they go. And I think the more we try and do that, we might be able to clock some achievements. Not everybody can be saved. Not everybody can
One
be.
at a time, at least.
One at a time, yes.
Yeah.
So we need to make the effort and let information reach them so that they know that when they find safe spaces, they will truly be safe spaces. They will not be devalued. They will not feel scandalized or stigmatized.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's She8 located?
We are in Adenta.
Okay.
You can find us by going on the internet or just Google She8 or Google Golda Ado, and all the links will pop up.
Okay.
Just reach out.
Okay. Yeah. We need a lot of money, do we not?
We do.
Okay. I'll take your final words as well, Josephine.
Okay. So I think there are lots of issues why women are staying with men, like you said, whether cohabiting a lot. But I think taking it from the girl-child perspective, I think one of the leading cause why these things are happening is because of the inequalities when it comes to period poverty. We might look at period poverty as something happening only to girls. But believe you me, it goes beyond just the girl. Imagine you're a father, for instance, and you have all girls in your house. Let's say you have like 5 girls. And every month, these girls have to menstruate. Meaning, if a girl has to use at least 1 pad, which most of the time, some of them will use like 2.
Yep.
If you have to be hygienic, do you get it? So if 1 pad now is like 15 cedis, and I have me alone, I have to use 30 cedis, and we are like 5. And our father has to care for us. Imagine if that father is not earning enough to provide that pad. In the next few years, maybe after menstruating for like, from your puberty for like just 2-3 years, he will get tired. The next thing he will start doing, either he sends you to go into early marriage or start allowing you to go out to find money and provide for yourself. He will tell you that he can't provide because there are other responsibilities. He has to provide for the home, a whole lot of things. And the girl child is not in position to get like a decent job to do something for herself. So the only thing these girls end up doing is to follow boys. And the funny thing is not even serious boys. They are like, it's not even people who have money. Some foolish boys in the area that can't even give you peanuts. Maybe all they can give is what you can take care of yourself for the day. And the next thing you hear in the next 2-3 months, the girl is either pregnant. Or if she's also pregnant, some of them who are also scared of their parents, they don't also know how to go about safe abortions and all. They start looking for traditional means to abort the child, and in the process lost their life. It's a whole lot of...
The problem is very unending.
Exactly.
And we are so grateful that the UN is dedicated at least a day, you know, so that we can talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, we can have this conversation every now and then, but thank you so much. Quickly, what's the social media handles?
So we are Because She Can _ on Instagram and on Twitter,
Okay.
Because She Can Africa on Facebook, and then Because She Can on LinkedIn.
Okay. Same thing, She8.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Great conversation we have had. Do you want to share your social media handles?
Okay, sure. I'm Josephine Danema on Facebook and also on LinkedIn.
Okay.
As well as Twitter, I'm Danema2. And since I'm representing Ghana Girls Guide, for those who are finding easy access to contact us, our social media handles are very active.
Okay.
So you can find us on Facebook, Ghana Girls Guide, or Instagram, the same. Or you can just search for us on Google, Ghana Girls Guide, and you get our website and you get all the information that you need.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We've been talking to Kweyaki Afi Blebo, data scientist, co-founder because she can. We've also been talking to Golda Na Adaku Ado, social activist, executive director and founder of She Aid. We've been talking to Josephine Ndanema, volunteer, Ghana Girls Guide Association, and my darling girl here, Alicia Ejay Sapon, who is also just 14 and aspires to be a pediatrician. Let's also create a safe environment for girls like Alicia here. Thank you so much. International Day for the Girl Child. Please find a little girl and encourage them so that they grow to be the women that you want to have in society. Do stay this morning.